media house.
My name is Authority Newspaper. When you look at the number compared to the
how will Nigerians take back their country? Basically, that's the summary of your question. Well, it's a question for all of us. How are we going to take back our country? Are we going to sit back, just throw our hands in the air, and say, oh, these people are bigger than us, they are more powerful? We can take back our country by individually raising our voices and collectively raising our voices. Because a country of 200 million people, if you have 50 million people talking, telling the government that enough is enough, I'm sure they will be very uncomfortable. So they are doing what they are doing because the rest of us are just quiet. Each time they push the bar, we adjust. They push the bar, we adjust. But if they push the bar, even in countries, in Tunisia, you know how the Arab Spring started? It is just a cart pusher. Somebody, just a local government, they increased the tax and asked him to pay some few pennies more. And he said no, that he cannot even make profit from what he's doing. And then they seized this, whatever he was pushing to sell, and took it to the office. The man just simply went to his house, told his people that he's going to kill himself, that his only means of livelihood has been taken from him. He took fuel, went there, set himself ablaze. And the people he told others that this is the reason why this man set himself ablaze. And he just caught on. Before you knew it, everywhere was ablaze. But Nigerians are used to tolerating suffering. How you guys got here this morning, I'm sure you went through harrowing experiences. You are going to return from the money you even pay in getting here. By the time you are leaving here now, it's doubled, it's tripled. And then you just go to your offices again, you adjust. Maybe the quality of food you are eating will have to drop to give way for further expenditures. Now, the question is, how long are we going to tolerate this direct assault on our livelihood? This is an existential issue. It's about life and death. It's an existential issue. So if you do not rise up, whether you're a lawyer, a medical doctor, a journalist, whatever profession that you find yourself, if you do not say that enough is enough, I can tell you, oppressors do not give up. The only language oppressors understand is a stronger force of resistance. When that comes, the CLO is not going to negotiate with them. We're not going to hold any meeting with anybody. We are going to continue what we are doing. We have a tradition. The CLO have a tradition of resisting obnoxious and oppressive policies. And we are not going to hold meetings. CLO has never held meeting with any government. Whether you are a governor or you are president, we have never had that tradition of, we monitor the process of governance under our governance and democracy program. Once we see that the policies that is being pushed out by any government, whether at the national or subnational level, is anti-people, we confront it. That's our strategy. And so, for us to confront it, we need to also educate Nigerians, inform Nigerians that this is now the path to follow. When Tinubu came on May 29, he gave an address where on that day he said he was taking up fuel subsidy. And the thing opened debates. You know, we were watching as an organization how and what strategies Nigerians will adopt in dealing with that. Nigerians simply adjusted. We have a duty as a human rights organization. We don't just say we are a civil society organization. We are a human rights organization. And the right to life is inherent, is inalienable, is given by God. So when government push policies that seems to push you into extinction, you have a right to resist. It is within the ambits of the law for you to resist using every legal means at your disposal. The truth is, if this morning we can find 500 Nigerians who will go to the gate of the National Assembly and sit down on the floor, that nobody's going to come out and go out. What people don't understand, and I think the media should understand this, when government roll out certain programs and policies, you see, I read in the headlines, oh, federal government to... That is not the story. The story should have been federal government rolls out funds to further enslave Nigerians. When they see such, when I was editor of Insider, The Source, those are the kind of headlines that I can. You don't come, there's interpretative journalism. You are a Nigerian. Government says it's going to give 8,000 naira to family, 45,000 naira to about 5 people in 6 months. We all knew what happened to trader money, which a professor of law, Oshibanjo, was distributing going to markets. What a shame. What a shame we have in this country, where a professor of law can be reduced by Buhari, who barely went to school, who struggled to look for a school certificate. He sent Oshibanjo on a white goose chase, going to markets and giving 2,000 to people, women selling tomato and pepper. And the rest of us, we are laughing. Today, the tiger that was destroyed yesterday, if you don't tame that tiger, the tiger will enter your bedroom. Who brought Buhari? It is Tinubu himself. Before our very eyes. And Tinubu told us that it is now his turn to preside over the affairs of Nigeria. We all thought that the man has a different approach. But what we have seen so far, he is really not more ruthless policies. More vicious and ruthless policies. This is not about wherever you come from in this country, whether you are a Yoruba man, Igbo man, it's no longer about tribe or religion. It's about class interest. These individuals are protecting their own class. And they are determined to do it at the expense and at the blood of Nigerians. And that's why CLO is saying today that enough is enough. 8,000 naira is an insult. If you like, 8,000 naira, we did the math, the arithmetic a few days ago. Each member of the National Assembly, from 1999 till date, which law has the National Assembly passed that moved poor Nigerians, that took poor Nigerians from the poverty noose to a situation where they can feed themselves? China, with a country of 1.48 billion, every year the Chinese take 100 million people out of poverty. It is there. Check the records. Look at the data. Look at the figures. It is there. Then people will come and tell us they are a class of 1999 when Governor Tinubu was governor. We were also governors. They are not telling Nigerians what did they do with the power they had for 8 years as governors. They are now a class. It has not been. So they are telling Nigerians that they are back. Their man is back in power. Therefore, they themselves, they are back. And the rest of us are watching. Let me tell you, the next few months, if Nigerians do not do something about this group of people, calling themselves, they are rulers, not leaders, calling themselves leaders, quote and unquote, where is the palliative? Where is the palliative that was promised? People thought that Tinubu would come and say, okay, in the first 6 months, we are going to fix 2 of the refineries to work. Mm-hmm. Okay, we are going to do this number of roads. Nigerians should be able to drive on roads. I remember when Goodluck Jonathan and I think they increased fuel prices. We just imagine. We saw Rufai buses in Abuja. We saw a semblance of intervention. What we have just seen here, we thought we had entered a one-chance bus, which in Lagos they call it Kumbi bus. This one is a long-seater bus with Tinubu. But if he thinks Nigerians have been conquered, he should wait for us. We are not conquered. We are not a conquered people.
During the struggle against the military rule, the radical student movement was there. It was not only the civil rights organizations. The radical labor movement was there. The radical media was there. This man was one of the editors in the Insider Weekly. You saw what happened at Yoruba when they invaded the office and got all of them and imprisoned them. The same thing with him. He was a consistent visitor to the prisons and detention camps. In Enugu, I was arrested at the Adoration Center, where I went to share anti-Abacha leaflets. Lectured and handcuffed and kept in detention for 33 days. The day Abacha died was the day he gave instruction to us for us to be brought to Abuja. Dr. Tomanko, Professor Denta Udenta, Alex Ayatolomo, the PA to late Nahoro, and Barrister Benedict Ezeaku. We were in government house in Enugu when Abacha died. That is the intervention of God, not our own power. Then we have the international community. There was a time Oshomole was backing that he would remove the president of Senate and his vice from office whether by crooks or hook or whatever. We did a letter to the international community, all the embassies here, and the European Union, and they warned Asorok and Oshomole, and you saw that he kept quiet until they served out. When you keep silence in the face of tyranny, you suffer it. But when you confront the siege, you get freedom. So there's nothing that will stop us from engaging this class of Nigerians. To tell them, look, we have no society to live. If we don't do something now, we are in trouble. That was how Fidel Castro at the age of 26 years, a lawyer too, organized the civil people, students, workers, artisans, and people in Cuba in 1953, and said, I have fought these people from the lowest to the highest court in Cuba, when Batista Fulgencio was enthroned by imperialism to govern Cuba, and said, we don't have a fate in this country. Students were selling their shoes, selling their books. Everybody was contributing to the struggle until 60 years in 1959, when Cuba took over Havana. Castro took over Havana, and they formed the government, and he has been there till he passed off. So if you keep quiet, these people think that the society belongs to them. Some of us can no longer put food on the table for our families. Our children can no longer go to school. There are no hospitals, but they fly overseas to be treated overseas over there when our people are dying. So we can no longer keep quiet. We will organize all agents of struggle to confront these people and tell them that Nigeria does not belong to anybody but to all of us. Thank you.
How much do we need to fix some of our epileptic system to earn the confidence of Dunlops and others that have left this country out of lack of confidence? So if you are pumping so much money to individuals, and I want to tell you that each time government tells you or they advise that give people cash, there are people always waiting. People always waiting to use fictitious names to collect those money. Those money, I will assure you, will not get to 20% of Nigerians. So if they have that kind of money, let them fix Ajakuta. Ajakuta will give people job. Let them also fix some of the things that have made a lot of companies to leave Nigeria for other countries. That way, you will be creating more jobs and empowering people the real way.
My own idea is this. If Dangote can use $17 billion to build a refinery that is second best in the whole of Africa, and when you look at Buhari's administration till today, and look at how much they say they have used in the turnaround maintenance of all these refineries, you will see that we have not been able to put in place a decision to maintain the refineries. The reason is that the same class of politicians that are in power are all behind the issue of importation of fuel. And you will agree with me that it is not possible, it is not easy for a man to close his own business. So they are just using the interests of Nigerians to run their firms. Dangote, an individual, built a refinery, one of the best in the whole of Africa, and one of the best in the whole of the world, with $17 billion. And the last administration spent not less than $24 billion in turnaround maintenance. You can see that there is no truth in what they are saying. And if Tinubu is telling you that he is now a saint, he wants to rebuild Nigeria, he is part and parcel of the government from 2015. The government, I want to tell Nigerians that the 2015 administration of Buhari has not ended. Buhari just went home and replaced himself with another figure in their class. The administration is still there running. Because if the administration is not running, I think what a good president should have done would have been to come up with a good measure, at least to say, Nigerians, you can go to sleep. Telling us 8,000 naira. We are all Nigerians. We know the cost of living in Nigeria. 8,000 naira in 6 months, they say they are going to pay. It's 48,000. No? So just tell me, let us be true to ourselves. What can 48,000 naira do to a family or to an individual who doesn't have a wife in a week? Not to talk of in 6 months. So all these things are diversionary policies that cannot help Nigerians. They are just doing it, playing on the intelligence of Nigerians, because people are keeping quiet. Like our statement says, vigilance must be applied. If we are moving forward, we must be vigilant. And CLO, we are now standing, asking Nigerians to come and join us, because we don't have any other place to call our country than Nigeria. We can't run to any other place. And if anybody is thinking that maybe what has been happening will continue to happen now, I want to advise the person that the person is dreaming, the person is sleeping. Let the person try and wake up, because it can be business as usual.
CLO is a human rights and pro-democracy movement. That is what CLO stands for. We are not a labor movement. In the past, we have had to build coalition with the NLC and all of that. If there is need for coalition, as time goes on, we will definitely do that. But for the purposes of information, the CLO is part of JAF, Joint Action Forum, which already is ongoing, and we will develop JAF strong enough to be able to confront this octopus that is confronting Nigeria to suck all of our blood. We will not allow it, as I said. And then Abdulrazak from STV said, why are Nigerian leaders not sacrificing? Only the poor people do. Yes, why would they sacrifice? they just feel that. You see, when a man slaps you and you walk away, he comes again, he slaps you on the other cheek, and you still walk away. The next thing he's going to do is to think of cutting a pound of flesh from you. So what is happening? People are being killed in Plateau, killed in Benue, everywhere. Taxes are being imposed. Nobody's saying anything. We are paying. Salaries remain where they are. If I 18,000, I don't know how many states that pays 30,000. Tinubu is saying, oh, he's considering a 200,000 naira minimum wage. What is 200,000 naira? Even as we speak, 200,000. A dollar now exchanges for close to 80,000 naira.
800,000.
No, $1. Sorry, $100. Sorry, $100.
83,500.
83,500. That's $100, which means Tinubu is telling you that what he can pay is about $250, assuming he even pays 200,000 naira, which I know is also diversionary. This government will never, maybe at best they will say we'll increase national minimum wage to 50,000, and everybody will applaud.
Who will agree to that?
And then the state governors will come with their politics. You know, we don't have money, we don't have this, and they will just be dancing around the issue. Look, we may be laughing, we are not joking here. The issue is this: what is confronting us is a clear and present danger to the issue of our existence and to the existence of democracy itself. There is also a conversation around the issue whether even democracy is what Nigeria should practice. Whether this model of democracy that we are practicing, where you have 109 senators with their fat bellies sitting down there, and you have 360 House of Reps members who just look at how they did their election, how they could not even elect a leader from among themselves independently, that the leadership of the National Assembly has to be dictated and imposed. And from that moment, you know that Nigerians are in for it. Because what happened under the leadership of Ahmed Lawan, where they just raise the gavel and say, anything Buhari brings, we'll put it there. And we thought it's a butt of joke. You go to social media, they were doing, and people are paying a heavy price for that. Now, before our very eyes, we have another regime of just bring anything to us, we put it out there. Tinubu sent the supplementary whatever to just do budget, get the loan. They say they just approve. Even before they approve, they shared it. They said 70 billion is coming to themselves. And Nigerians are looking at these people. We work on this and they say, what is CLO doing? CLO should do something. This is CLO sitting down here. We also have flesh and blood. But it takes, he said, cowards die many times before they are dead. That the good is often intact with their bones. If you are a coward, you are going to die many times. If you think, oh, let me just manage, maybe the next day things will get better. We can all see before our very eyes that it's not getting better. It's getting worse. Yes, Unka, my good friend, editor of Telegraph says, what strategy does the CLO has to deal with the issues? This is one of the strategies. Enlightenment, public advocacy is one of the strategies. And of course, I will not want to tell the media or the public the other strategies, because we know you are a media. You will tell us your strategy, you publish. So we know it's no longer a strategy. A strategy known is no longer a strategy. You know, that we have our strategies to continue to respond to this evil that is before us all.